This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2014 Mercedes S550. Up front is a 4.7 liter V8 and down below is a 7-speed automatic transmission. This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US. But let's get back to that 4.7 liter V8. Well, I don't know if I've ever dealt with a 4.7 liter. It's sort of an interesting displacement. And it is a V8. This is a bigger car, but don't let that fool you. This car does not lumber around. All right, so 4.7 liter V8. Let's put it into sport mode. Put the suspension into sport. It's gonna start lowering me. I might have to wait a second. 4.7 liter. Wow. That takes you. And you know what? It doesn't bark and scream about it. It just takes you. It doesn't have that loud crackling exhaust. It's not in your face. This engine just pulls you like it's just an average Sunday. It doesn't even break a sweat. We didn't even rise a single degree of temperature doing that quick little pull. That is seriously impressive. This is an impressive drivetrain. I really like it. Like I said, paired to it is a 7-speed automatic transmission. Nothing really too crazy there, although it's shifted on the column, which is sort of interesting. I feel like this is sort of a way of the past, but we'll talk about that more once we talk about the interior. So, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have digital gauges. This is just a screen. There are no physical gauges. But on the left is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer, as well as what gear I'm in, my odometer, and stuff like that. The odometer is sort of displayed in a really interesting way. It's like really in your face about the odometer. It really wants you to know how many miles are on this thing. But I like the gauges. I think they're really simple and easy to read. I just wish that if you're gonna make it a digital gauge cluster, why not let us, pick and choose whatever the heck we want? Why make it look like gauges from other cars? On the left of the steering wheel, we have home, seek, okay, stuff like that. That's going to be for the gauges. So I can actually kind of go through here: navigation, radio, media, telephone, assistance, info displays, service, settings, stuff like that. I can control the gauge screen with that. And then on the right, I have my phone options, my mute, volume up and down, stuff like that. I like the steering wheel a lot. It has this sort of marble looking texture at the top, and it does say Mercedes-Benz down at the bottom in a really interesting font that I don't know I've seen used on other parts of the Mercedes. It's interesting that they sort of switched up the font for this, but whatever. I really like the steering wheel, and it does have paddle shifters. To the left, I have a couple interesting buttons: my parking sensor off button, but also my 360 camera option. So I can hit this, and it'll actually show on the center screen, which we'll get to in a second, a 360 view of the car. So basically there's cameras all around the car looking down, and the software sort of stitches it together to give you what appears to be a bird's eye view of the Mercedes. I think this is absolutely cool. I think all cars should have this, and more cars are getting this as the years go on. You have to remember, this is a 5-year-old car, so that's pretty impressive. Then I just have my light switches, and then we get to the door. The door has a lot of interesting buttons on it. First of all, we have our seat options up top. You can adjust 4 different parts of the seat, as well as you have 3 different memory seat settings, so 3 different people can configure their memory seats. I have heated seats, I also have cooled seats, and I have a little seat that says R. So when I engage that, I can adjust the seat settings for the passenger, which is absolutely cool. So non-R, adjust myself, hit it into R, I'm adjusting it for the passenger. That is really cool, and that's really smart thinking. If someone is incapable or they don't know how to do it, you could do it for them, and that's absolutely awesome. To finish off the top of the door, we do have a very nice speaker in the corner, but On the bottom half of the door, we have our just window switches, power mirror options, which these are power folding mirrors as well. And then way at the bottom, we have our trunk release. Now we get into the center. There is the giant screen, which I really, really like. I like the coloring of it. I don't think it's too complicated. Right now, one of the best features I'm enjoying right now is the massage feature. These are massaging seats up front, which is absolutely cool. I am getting a massage while doing a review. That is awesome. But this is where I get my radio options, my navigation. I mean, all the typical stuff that you would find in a center display is right here, and I really, really like that. Like I said, it's really easy to read, and it's really intuitive. It's really simple, and I like that. I don't like getting into a car and not being able to know how to do stuff. Another really cool thing about that center screen before we move on is that there is a button for vehicle settings, and when you click that, a little S550 rolls into frame. I absolutely love that. I love it when auto manufacturers actually include the car in the screen, because it actually shows me that this isn't just a borrowed screen from like a 1 Series or whatever. This is actually made for the S550, and it makes me feel special. To the left of the screen, we have a couple interesting buttons. We have a button to drop the rear headrest for better rear visibility, and also a button to raise and lower the rear sunshade. So it is a power sunshade that hides away. You would not know that it's there unless you flip it up like so. And if you watch in the background, it rises up from the dead, which is absolutely awesome. And I love that. Then we get to the air conditioning and heating vents. In the middle, there are 4 of them, as well as an analog clock in the middle. I really like it. I like the symmetry of it. I think it looks good, and I think it definitely looks classy, especially the fact that the clock has a little Mercedes logo within it. I think that's absolutely cool. Then we have our heating and air conditioning controls. Nothing really too crazy here. And then we get a cubbyhole and our center screen controls. Now there's a bunch of controls here, and actually there's more than meets the eye, because we have the seat settings, navigation, radio, our hazard, media, telephone, and the vehicle settings. I already talked about that stuff with the center screen, but there is a center joystick that is to control the center screen, to actually switch settings, stuff like that. And then you see this sort of hand rest. You can actually flip that up, and it becomes a telephone, essentially. If you want to call someone, whatever, you can actually type it in right here. And then you can hide it away again. I've never seen something like this. It's definitely sort of James Bond-y. I feel like this is like the telephone that'll call the Pentagon. And so, you know, you're with someone, you don't want them to know, and then you flip it open and call the president and be like, we got an issue. I don't know, something like that. I like hideaway stuff in cars, and I honestly wouldn't have known that it was here, except I accidentally flipped it, and I was like, wait, does this thing move? And boom, there are my phone options. Really, really cool there. But getting back to the center buttons, on the right, I just have eco, volume, and a toggle switch to actually turn off the screen. I can actually turn off the center screen completely just with one button. But let's get over to the left, because we have some interesting buttons. So up top, there's S and E. This is for sport and eco. So right now I'm in eco, because of doing these reviews, I don't need to be in sport mode. But click it once, put it into sport, and it'll actually drop down and hold gears longer. Going off of that, there are 2 suspension settings, interestingly enough. So right now I'm in sport. Actually toss it back into comfort, and it lightens up the car. It's nothing super drastic. It's not like sport's gonna break your back and comfort's gonna, you know, massage you, although the seats do massage you. I guess that's a poor analogy. It just raises the car up a little bit, gives you a little bit more, you know, comfort, as the title suggests, and I really, really like that. But then down below, we actually can raise and lower the car on its own. So we are raising it right now. The car does have air suspension, which is awesome. You could hear the compressor. And so this particularly comes in handy for parking garages, steep driveways, what have you. You can raise the car up, and so you can clear speed bumps, stuff like that. I really, really like that. Then I get a center console, and that's really it. Now the seats are really, really comfortable. Like I said, you can adjust just about everything about them. Even more so on the door, you can actually adjust the side bolsters. You can adjust a bunch of different stuff, which is really, really cool. And like I said, heated, cooled, and massaging. I mean, you can't really ask more from a seat than you can in this car. I mean, this seat will do anything you want it to do besides cook you breakfast. I'm serious. It's absolutely awesome. These seats are amazing. But speaking of seats, let's do a back seat review. So we're in the back of the 2014 Mercedes S550, and honestly, there's not as many features back here as I thought. Now, that being said, this is a very, very comfortable back seat. I have plenty of leg room. There's literally nothing to complain about back here. I just really thought that this would be a car you'd more want to ride in. But honestly, no. I don't get any like really special features that I'm dying to ride back here as opposed to driving. I do have little flip out cup holders. They're not going to do much. Open up the center console. Nothing really too crazy. I do have 2 vents down below, and then I do have vents on the B pillars, which is interesting. I have my power window options. Obviously, I do have little sunshades that I can pull up, but then I actually have buttons on the door for the top sunshade. So I can control the 2 shades if I would like to. If the driver either isn't listening to me or you don't want to bother them, whatever, you can adjust the shades as you want. That is really, really cool. That's really smart thinking. And overall, this back seat gets 3 thumbs up. It's super comfortable, super plush, plenty of leg room, and it's a Mercedes. It's great. Last thing about the interior is this panoramic sunroof is absolutely awesome. Let's see if we can crank this bad boy open. There we go. So I wouldn't say the whole roof comes off, but almost the whole roof is a part of the sunroof, and a big chunk of it does open. I really, really like that. I love sunroofs in cars, and I think this is really, really a good one. But overall, I think the interior all works together really, really well. It's very classy. The whole idea of this car is classy. And now let's talk about the looks. I love the look of the S550. I think it looks great. Right off the bat, you might be thinking, oh, it's a Mercedes. It's expensive. It should look great. And yes, I agree. It should look great. But look at early 2000s Mercedes. Those things were dogs. I mean, they were ugly. Mercedes really found its stride sort of in this late 2000s, early 2010s. They sort of found their stride with this body style, and it looks great. Early 2000s, late 90s, at least for me, Mercedes was probably one of the worst looking manufacturers in the game. And yes, that's with the Ford Taurus in mind. I just think that they look absolutely not good. I mean, really, really not good. But this does look great. And while driving, I actually see the Mercedes emblem up at the front sort of guiding my way, and I think that that's awesome. Overall, I have to say I really do love the S550. This is a luxurious car. This is just top notch. I mean, really, really, of the luxury cars that I've driven, this is definitely pretty far up there. I just can't get over the seat. I mean, honestly, just the seat alone makes this car absolutely amazing. But the looks, it looks super classy. I love the wheels. I love the headlights. I love the emblem up front. It's definitely a classy car. Just all of it. Oh, I really love the S550. This is an amazing car. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the Mercedes S550. Huge thank you to Toyota Naperville for letting me take out the Mercedes. This car is for sale if you would like to purchase it. The link will be in the description. But if you guys are looking for any other cars, if you're not quite looking for an S550 to purchase, still head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com. They have tons of cars on their lot. They always cycle through cars. They always have new inventory. And honestly, I've been filming with them for almost 8 months here, and I still have yet to run out of interesting cars to film. It's really something else. So definitely head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com. Thank you so much for helping me out with this video. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. Aside from my soul.